there, beautiful hearts. I'm Monica Bermudez, an intuitive quantum energy healer. For this week's Love Wisdom message, I want to talk about the healing through the dreams and the timelines and the ascension, fifth dimensional, higher dimensional frequencies, vibrational frequency. So first of all, we just had a really powerful new moon in Pisces just this week, and it is definitely bringing in more of the manifestation energy with it. And as such, since we are in the zodiac sign of Pisces, I feel that the dreams have increased exponentially, and it's also due to some of the alignments of the way the planets have been with Neptune as well. And a lot of these planets, like the Neptune and the Pisces type energy, are very much into the deep subconscious area, which has, something to do with the dreams themselves. So dreams is such a fascination for me. I've done many topics on dreams. I've studied it so much because I'm just so fascinated and so drawn by it and so intrigued by it because of my own dreams. And I journal and write all my dreams and try to chronicle them. And what I've been finding is certain patterns in there of messages. So that's why it's so important to really jot down and record the dreams as much as possible, that what you can remember, and as soon as you wake up in the morning, it's best to record it while it's still fresh in your mind. When you're coming into consciousness and awareness when waking up. And I've had, many people in time say, I don't dream, but just because you don't remember your dream does not mean that you don't dream. Everybody dreams, whether you remember them or not. And so I'll share some more, how you can, to help you also to be able to remember those dreams. But I want to talk about how these dreams have been very quantum-like lately. And let me explain a little bit about that. We are definitely in different multiple timelines right now because they keep shifting based on our own decisions and our own way of looking at what reality we find ourselves in and where our thoughts are focused on. So if we're focused on that something is going to manifest in a certain way, then that's the timeline of that reality that you're setting stone, that you're planting those seeds of, manifestation on it. So what's happening with all these energies, because it's been a bit of a storm of energy, so it's a mixture of everything, right? And then when you add fear into the mix of all things, it creates it triggers, let's just say, into jumping into the different timelines and seeing, if you're worried, then it will trigger a certain timeline of that worried timeline. And if it's some form of fear, then it'll trigger some form of fear timeline. So the key is, of course, to always bring it to the heart, where I focus my most highest intention to start with is the heart center, because in the heart center is where all the timelines also come together in this present moment. And so a lot of the dreams lately have been some form of portal energies that also are diving into these different timelines themselves. But in the process of all that, it is offering and giving an opportunity of healing through these dreams. So sometimes, some clients will come to me and say, I've had this really strange dream where I'm dreaming with my in-law who passed away many years back, but in the dream it is the present moment, modern times, and I'm dreaming that I have to leave right away because I have to go to their funeral who just passed away in the current present, even though they had passed away many years back. So what the message that I was getting as a download is that has to do with a different portal timeline. So in that timeline, this person was present, lived, to be longer in her life. And so there is an opportunity in there of some form of healing that is happening as well in that timeline even though that person is no longer on this earthly plane. Now, of course, people who cross over are also crossing over into another portal, so they're really still, in essence, still with us, vibration, a different frequency of energy that is not really visible to our own physical eyes, right? The way we would see them in the physical form. And so in that moment as well, in that dream, they're also serving as some form of healing in itself. And so that's why, I wanted to make it very clear to really pay attention to your dreams these days. And if you're one who thinks that you're not dreaming because you can't remember them, I will share with you a technique that always works. And that is, before you go to bed, you just program yourself and you tell yourself that when I awake, I will remember my dream. It's a very simple technique. And instantly, once you wake up, it's like this reprogramming of your own conscious, subconscious level, and you remember those dreams. And that is why, it's important maybe to recommend that you have a pen and paper near you, near your bed, so that you can jot down and write down what you have dreamt. Now, also the fastest way would be if you have some kind of recorder with you. It could be your phone, it could be, some other method. You could just record the dream that way as well too, if you want to say it verbally and if it's much faster for you. But I think writing it down is actually much better, because when you're writing down pen and paper, I feel that you are also interacting more with your higher self and also can facilitate and interpret your own dreams. And so I love hearing about everybody's dream. This is how fascinated I am about dreams, because I feel like in a past life I've definitely served as a dream interpreter, some dream oracle. And so when I hear about dreams, I can instantly just get an idea of what the dream is trying to say for that person. And I've studied a lot of, for instance, Carl Jung, who emphasized a lot about dreams and the archetypes and the symbolism, and also about Sigmund Freud. And actually both Carl Jung and Sigmund Freud at one point had worked together on the dream analysis, but then they separated and went their own ways because they had a disagreement on their own viewpoints. But the dreams themselves and the way the things happen now with this ascension energy is that they're coming in much sharper in a very quantum level. So that means that you may be jumping into these different timelines, into these different portals, into these different dimensions, and to these different wormholes, I guess, is the word that I'm hearing. And in there, you're being offered an opportunity to get some quantum healing that you may not have had, in this past life. Now, again, explained in the different videos that in the 3D world, 3D matrix that we find ourselves in the current moment, that's the earth is shifting into these higher vibrational frequency of energies, is that in the 3D, everything is a very linear time. So we can think of, the past, like a year ago, stays there in the past, it's separated, right? And then if you look at the future a year from now, it's separated as well. So everything feels separate, it's very linear. And the present is present. But when we are jumping into these higher vibrational frequencies of dimensions, is that we are so accelerated, right? That everything's all together, but it's come together in the present moment of things. So what happened in the past a year ago is actually happening right now in this present moment. What's happening in the future right now is also happening right now in this present moment. And so that's what's happening with these dreams, is that it may be somebody who may have, passed away long ago, but is actually still coming into your present moment view, into your own modern times, current time, and it is presenting itself in a different way of this healing opportunity in itself. Now, dreams are also other ways of activations themselves. So it's not just about healing, but it's also about activations, and it's also about revelations and getting downloads of information, because through dreams we also receive other upgrades as well with these ascension energies themselves. So definitely, rest is very important during this time. So if you're feeling really exhausted and really need that time for a nap or some sleep, listen to your body, because it is through that sleep that you will be receiving other codes and other healings and other activations, or whatever it is that you need for that moment in that time. And so that's the beauty of the dreams, is that oftentimes we can heal through the dreams and not necessarily have to experience it through a waking moment. So in a way, it's also helping with the neutralizing the karma. So neutralizing any form of negative karma that may have happened, and putting a balance on that as well, of those energies within a dream. And so that's why this is becoming a very quantum healing for this ascension through the dreams and the different timelines that are being presented through the dreams themselves. So this is, very powerful energy times, because with that, of course, it just becomes very challenging with these new energy codes, because when we haven't really done as much of the work, that's when it becomes even more challenging. But when we put really enough effort and we become really consciously aware, or do the best we can to be really aware and conscious of it, then you're working with the energies themselves and working at it to realign yourself and your soul and your heart to be on the path that you are meant to be on, where your heart is calling you towards, and it's the heart of your soul, right? And so that's why I emphasize that for these, even like all the timelines and all the present moment, and anything that you want to get answers to, any wisdom of information that you need, bring it back into your heart. And it is your heart that is your balancing tool of energy as well. So if you're writing down, a certain dream that you don't understand yourself, and these are just methods and tools to help you as a way of self-help, so you're not dependent on others to be interpreting dreams for you, because we have the ability to interpret our own dreams. And actually, we're probably the better person, and I include myself, in this mix of we, in that we are the best, source of information for the interpretation of that dream in itself. And so that's why when you're writing in your own journal, you can ask your own higher guidance through your own heart and bringing it to your heart center, and ask what message you're getting from this dream and what is it telling you. So back then, just to share my personal story with dreams as an example, because I've had so many and I record so many, and I'm always so fascinated, and I'll notice that there's patterns in those dreams when I'm recording them. And that's also how you can become aware of certain patterns in your own healing, in your own life. And one example for me was after when I divorced, I was going through my own dark night of the soul, and it was very deep, dark night of the soul, very intense. During that period of time of also, depression as well, in my own grief and heartbreak, I had very super clear dreams. And all of these dreams were about healing through them, and healing through these different timelines and different avenues of, and they would, spirit animals will come to me in the dreams, and spirit guides and everything, paying attention to all of that. And so every time I would dream it, of course, I would always feel better. So it's always bringing it back to your heart and how you're feeling, from that dream itself. And so that's why it's important to journal. And so I feel like, those dreams, there was always a message for me. And I know that, in your dreams, you're having these messages come to you for a reason. And most, cases, it's for healing. If there's been so much trauma in your life, pain and suffering, and not just in this life, but say like multiple other lifetimes, because I've had, clients who've dreamt with past lifetimes themselves of, they've seen themselves in these other human bodies, and they see that, they're either a man or a woman, and they get a glimpse of something that they realize in this life that they were repeating as a pattern, and that they needed that healing in that way. So it was a revelation dream. And I've had dreams like that too myself. And so in those dreams, you have so much opportunities, like an infinite amount of opportunities in the dreams themselves. And there's also an infinite amount of opportunities in the timelines that are coming up as well. So the key is for the timelines is to keep yourself in the highest vibrational timeline and align yourself to that. So if there's fear, then transmute that fear and bring in your heart center love energy into that and focus on something that is. You have the power. We have the power to really shift our reality, shift our timeline, and shift our way of being and who we are. And hello there, dear hearts, I'm back again. I realized that when I was in that Facebook live video, it got cut off all of a sudden, and so I'm feeling there's a message also that in dreams you also get an opportunity to reset. So speaking of that, when I've noticed also that there's been a lot of glitchiness lately with the technology, and there's a lot with these quantum energies that are coming in so strong that will cause some of the equipment to get glitchy as well. And so it is also with that glitch of a message that we are also being asked to pay attention to our own glitchiness in our own life and pay attention to those patterns as well, and what is happening within the dreams, and what the dreams are telling us as a message in itself. So I am going to conclude. I may remake this video for my YouTube channel, or I may just post both of them together in it. I believe there's a message behind them. So I also wanted to make an announcement that on May 6th, Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, I'll be coming on a podcast show called Love Light, Living in the Spirit of Love. And Dr. Jean Farish and I will be talking about the quantum strengthening of your own heart for 2022 and beyond, because this is what the message that I've been hearing the calling of for humanity, and it's a very important message for humanity that wants to come through about keeping yourself strengthened within your own heart, and ways and methods to do that, as well as sharing some energy codes from Goddess Kuan Yin herself, who wants to come through for that podcast shows live. So I welcome you to come join us for this wonderful conversation that we'll be having about it, and I'm so excited about it. And I'll post the link in my YouTube channel description if you're watching it on YouTube, and I also posted it in my Facebook group as well. So I look forward to connecting with you in the next Love Wisdom message. Bye for now. Much love.